Okay, so today I am going to be ranking every single Premier League team's transfers, and we're going to go through every single one, even the small ones, players being released or whatever. And then I think at the end, I want to summarize maybe the top three club transfer windows so far. Of course, we've still got a little bit of time to go until the end of the window, but let's face it, a lot of the really big moves have already happened, and there probably will be a couple more to go through. We're seeing a lot of rumours at the moment, but it seems like every window, it's getting more and more important for clubs to get those signings done as early as possible. Even if it costs a little bit more, it means getting them involved in pre-season, getting them to gel with the team. And it's definitely something I've noticed improving every single year. We're seeing these big moves going through in June, July, whereas it felt like it was always the last week, deadline day. I always remember the Mesut Ozil transfer on deadline day. But anyway, of course, we start off with Arsenal. We're right at the top here. I'm not going to go through every single one, but what I meant is you can see every single ins and outs on screen right now. Maitland-Niles is one to mention. He was released. He's transferred to Lyon. I think he's got a 4-year deal from being a free agent, so fair play to him. Kai Havertz, of course, coming in from Chelsea. Declan Rice coming in from West Ham. Where's... Hang on. It's just because there isn't a badge for every team. It's just the Premier League teams. But as you can see here, Timber as well coming in from Ajax. I was looking for the Ajax badge. Trusty, of course, has gone to Sheffield United. Granit Xhaka, of course, went to Leverkusen. Realistically, I would say that Arsenal, whilst we've spent over 200 million, we haven't recouped much money yet. I think we're definitely in desperate need of 2, 3, 4 more players to leave. We're looking at Raya. That seems to be happening very soon. I really wish we were getting Kudus. Looks like he could be going to Brighton, which, I mean, fair play to the guy. He's clearly picking minutes over money. But yeah, I would say Arsenal have had a very strong window. We just need to sell more players. I would say we're up there. Aston Villa, okay, not much going on, but big moves coming in. I mean, Tielemans from Leicester, amazing. Ashley Young has been released. Pau Torres, unbelievable. That is huge. Pau Torres, for me, might be one of the best signings of the summer. He could be incredible for them. Moussa Diaby, another player that was linked with a lot of top clubs. And he's gone to Aston Villa for, again, it's clearly the project, the minutes he will get. He will be a star player there. Maybe he was worried if he came to, whether it's Arsenal, whether it's Man City. I think he's been linked with Liverpool as well. He wouldn't be the star man. He wouldn't be maybe even a starter, which he doesn't want. So fair play to the guy. I really do rate that. And I think this is right up there. Tielemans on a free is, that's ridiculous. Pau Torres and then Moussa Diaby. This is Aston Villa. I'm not trying to degrade the club, but it's Aston Villa. Being able to pull in huge names like Moussa Diaby, very, very impressive. And of course, a lot of that, I think, is down to the manager. Good evening. Bournemouth. Traore was already there, right? That's just a completed deal. It was like a obligation to buy, right? They've signed in and loaned out. Is that the case there? I wish it was a little bit more detailed here. This was an interesting one. Milos Kerkez. Is that how you say it? I think that's actually a very good deal for Bournemouth. But losing Lerma is huge. I'm very surprised that they didn't... Well, they probably did offer him a new contract. He's gone to Crystal Palace, right? That's a huge miss for Bournemouth. He's been a part of every relegation scrap they've had, and I think they're really going to miss him. I really do. But they need to do more. They absolutely need to do more, and I don't see how they're going to have enough at this point. We'll see. Brentford. I actually don't know too much about what Brentford have done. Big fan of Kevin Shade coming in on a permanent deal from Freiburg there. Romeo Beckham, as you do. Nathan Collins, massive signing. I'm a big fan of Nathan Collins. I don't really know what happened. He went to Wolves and he looked really good for a few weeks, or even the season, I thought he was pretty good. But then they've just sold him. I don't know why. I really like him. I think he's a good player. Lots of transfers out, lots of players that I don't know too much about or know at all. The thing with Brentford is they've got obviously a very good striker that isn't available until early next year, with Tone being out because of the betting scandal. They've got some really nice, tidy players in their team. I'm a big fan of some of their midfielders. I'm a really big fan of Mbuemo and Burmo, however you want to say it, up front. But I'm surprised they haven't gone in for a target man again, just because purely... What if, okay? What if Tone comes back and he's just not the same player anymore? I doubt that. If anything, I think he's going to come back even stronger. But also, what if they lose him in January? He's still available to be sold and transferred. You know, it's not like he's banned from everything football-wise. He can't do training with the team until September, I believe. So it's a risk that they haven't done that yet, but maybe they're still looking. Maybe Romeo Beckham's going to be the target man up front. But honestly, expecting a little bit more from Brentford over the next couple of weeks until the end of the window. Now, Brighton. Really tough for Brighton because they've had such a good season last year and they've got a lot of players that could easily get big moves. And let's face it, we've seen McAllister go. We could be seeing Caicedo leave. They've loaned out Sarmiento, which surprised me. I thought he looked very, very good when he was playing. And Undav as well. Why has he gone? I know they've brought in... what's his name? The Brazilian from Watford. Where is it? Why isn't it listed here? Or am I just blind? Oh, there it is, João Pedro. So I guess that's kind of like a straight swap. Dahoud is a fantastic signing as well. And James Milner, for at least one season, loads of experience. But McAllister leaving is a big problem. I'm very, very impressed that they've kept hold of Caicedo so far. They're really, they're betting down on the 100 million, like no less. That is it. And also, of course, Mitoma is very important that they keep him. They've brought in an absolutely fantastic young goalkeeper in Verbruggen there. I think he'll be very good for them. Igor as well from Fiorentina, left-footed centre-back. Clearly, they really wanted to get Colwill from Chelsea, but just wasn't possible. He signed a new deal at Chelsea, which is like a brand new signing for them. So they've gone with Igor instead. And of course, Sanchez leaving for Chelsea is a recent one. But I think we all knew that was going to happen, that Sanchez would be leaving. They've got other goalkeepers. They've got Steele. I think he's more than good enough. It's a decent window. If they hold on to Caicedo, I will be very impressed. Now, Burnley. Very, very interesting. It looks like they're about to sign Sander Berg, is it? Or Burge from Sheffield United. Really good midfielder. And I'm very impressed with that one. They've got Nathan Redmond coming in as well. But the big one for me was James Trafford from Man City. Had a fantastic tournament with the under-21s for England. Didn't concede a single goal as they won the championship there. Unbelievable. And I think it's around 15 million. So it's a brilliant price as well. Ashley Barnes has been released. I didn't actually know that. Jordan Bayer coming in, or Bayer. Brune Larson as well. I had no idea they've signed Brune Larson. He used to play for Dortmund. Like, he's a good player. So fair play to Burnley. I actually think with some of these signings, they could have a very good season. And they've obviously got a great way of playing. You know, Vincent Kompany's got them playing really nicely. Right, Chelsea. How far do we scroll? Oh my God. It's stupid. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, Kante has left for Saudi. And Nkunku's come in, picked up an injury. He's going to be out for a few months, apparently. Kendry Paez, is that how you say it? I think he's going to be loaned out, but just another signing. Sterling has gone to Rangers. That's not the Sterling. There's another Sterling. Bakayoko released. Koulibaly, Saudi. Kovacic, Man City. Mendy, Saudi. Havertz, Arsenal. Loftus-Cheek, AC Milan. This is incredible. They've done so much. Nicholas Jackson looked fantastic in pre-season. Really impressed with him. He just looked like a better Aubameyang, to be honest with you. Very similar athletic build and quality of finish, and I think he's going to be a really good player. I don't know anything about Alex Matos. Diego Moreira, don't know too much about him. Mason Mount, obviously, going to Manchester United. They got a great amount of money for him, as well as Havertz. Let's be honest. I think both Mount and Havertz could have been cheaper. Azpilicueta obviously has gone to Atletico Madrid. Baba Rahman's finally left as well. Fofana on loan to Union Berlin, already scoring, looked very good in his first game. Pulisic to AC Milan. Ampadu to Leeds. Don't think that was a good one for them. He looks very good so far for Leeds. Amari Hutchinson, what a shame. Aubameyang to Marseille. And of course, they've brought in some young French players. Ugo Chukwu, someone that I think was linked with Arsenal, actually. Ugo Chukwu. I actually signed him in my Arsenal career mode. He's come in and might be loaned out, I've heard. And then, of course, Fofana picked up an injury, so they thought, let's just drop 45 million on Dizazi from Monaco. And then, of course, Robert Sanchez coming in. I mean, it's an incredible window. It is, and it's not stopping. They've got another Brazilian player that could be coming in for 20 million, and what blows my mind is they're still looking at Caicedo as well. I mean, they're looking. It could genuinely go to $1 billion within 18 months. Just think about that. How can it's unbelievable. Crystal Palace, Lerma coming in, of course, from Bournemouth on a free. They've released MacArthur, Milivojevic, Jack Butland, Francis, Franca. I don't know too much about those guys. I mean, Chris Francis from Bournemouth. Genuinely, it's a little bit underwhelming. I think Crystal Palace are going to have a big problem. And one of the biggest problems, of course, would have been losing Wilfried Zaha. And it happened. He has gone to Galatasaray. It's such a strange one. I think he just wants to get out of England, if I'm honest. But that is honestly one of the worst things that could happen to any team in the league right now. It would be Crystal Palace losing Zaha. He has carried them. Everton need to do more work, for sure. They are going to have some big problems if they do not get more players in. Tom Davies has left. Begovic has left. Townsend has left. Mina has left. They've brought in Danjuma on loan. Ashley Young, obviously, coming from Aston Villa on a free. And that's about it. Worrying times for Everton. They need to do more. Fulham, again, also need to do more. They've brought in Jimenez from Wolves. It looks like that Mitrovic was going to leave. I think Saudi were looking to sign him, but it didn't go through. So they're going to have Jimenez and Mitrovic up front, potentially, throughout the season. That would be pretty incredible. But I'm a big fan of Calvin Bassey. That's a good signing from Ajax, who he wasn't there for long. Was it 1 season, 2 seasons? I like him, and I think that's a really good signing for Fulham. But they need to do more. If they're going to keep up with their standards they set last year, which were pretty good, then I think, 1 or 2 more signings for sure. Liverpool, lots of loans out. They've sold Stewart. Jordan Henderson, of course, has gone to the Saudi League along with Fabinho. 2 massive players for them. I'm quite surprised they were willing to let them go so easily. Not a fan of this move, by the way. Jordan Henderson going to the Saudi League. I don't think I need to go into it. I think people will know what I mean. Szoboszlai coming in, absolutely huge. What a signing that is. And of course, McAllister from Brighton, very impressive. Losing Firmino to the Saudi League as well. Naby Keita, of course, big investment, flopped. James Milner's gone, legend. Oxlade-Chamberlain is, I think, going to Galatasaray or Besiktas maybe. Unbelievable, really. Fabio Carvalho out on loan to RB Leipzig, which I thought was an interesting one. I think they do need a midfielder, and it seems like Lavia is going to be the most likely, but are they actually going to get that done? I don't know. So Luton Town, favourites to go down straight away and probably finish bottom of the league. I don't know too much about the players they've brought in. I think Nakamba's a good signing from Villa. He's marvellous. He's a really good player. Kaminsky, don't know too much about him. Ryan Giles, it's going to be a really tough season for Luton. And I know a lot of investment's going to go into the stadium and the facilities. The club needs it. They shouldn't really be in the Premier League right now, should they? They maybe needed a little bit more time, but it's an incredible story. And I think it would be a miracle if they stay up. This is not enough, but very difficult to bring in big players, I think, with their stature. But best of luck to them. Man City have been relatively quiet, Gundogan obviously went to Barcelona, so they brought in Kovacic. That's a very good swap. Delap out on loan to Hull. Trafford, of course, has gone to Burnley. Kabore, we just saw, loaned to Luton Town. Mahrez is definitely a big loss. And I'm seeing they're linked with Elise, they're linked with Doku. They were linked with Kudus, I think, at some point. Maybe. Thing is, there are so many right-sided wingers that are left-footed linked with big moves at the moment. And they will get one. They will. I think Palmer was fantastic and has been really good for them, but I don't know if he's ready for first-team football for the entire season. So I would expect someone to come in. But, of course, they've just signed Gvardiol, the most expensive defender in history. I think it's just shy of 100 million euros for a centre-back. It is really quite something. What a player, though. And he will definitely improve their defence, crazily. Lots of players released from Manchester United, including Phil Jones, Tuan Zebe, De Gea, of course. Iqbal leaving was a weird one. I wasn't expecting that. Mason Mount coming in for 60-odd million. Onana, of course, coming in from Inter for a lot of money. Tellez, obviously on big wages, has now left. Elanga was sold to Nottingham Forest. And another big one was Højlund coming in. Do you know what? I rate Man United's window relatively highly, but I'm not sure how good Højlund is actually going to be. It's risky. Onana is a fantastic goalkeeper, and I think that's a really good signing. And Mason Mount, I don't know. I personally don't really see it. I would rather have Havertz for that kind of money. I'm being genuine. But it could work out. I thought Newcastle were going to struggle in this window because apparently they didn't really have the money available. Well, they have the money available. They just can't spend it because of FFP. But then they've gone out and spent a ton of money. Tonali's come in for a huge amount of money. Harvey Barnes as well, of course. Livramento is 40 million. And really, they're selling St. Maximin, Darlow, Chris Wood to Nottingham Forest. And they've released a ton of players. Like, honestly, were they just lying? They were just pretending they didn't have money? But the players they brought in are very good. I don't know too much about Yankuba Minte. No idea. I just want to call him Minty. But Tonali and Harvey Barnes. I mean, round of applause. That's a big one. And Livramento, very good player. Nottingham Forest have been more busy than I thought, actually. Elanga coming in from United is massive. Oh, they brought in Ola Aina as well. He used to play for Chelsea, no? That's a good one. Jesse Lingard released. Ayew released. Chris Wood obviously coming in from Newcastle. Jack Colback has been released. I didn't even know that. Interesting. But, I think they need a marquee signing. I don't think Elanga is... Yeah. Tricky one for Nottingham Forest. They are linked with, of course, Matt Turner from Arsenal. That could be happening in the next few days, maybe even in the next 24 hours. But it's not going to be enough, is it? We'll see how they get on. Sheffield United, they're, of course, just about to lose Sander Berge to Burnley. That's a big one. They brought in Trusty from Arsenal. They sold their main man, Njayi, to Marseille. That is not good at all. Jack O'Connell and Billy Sharp released. Yeah, this is a weak transfer window so far. Losing their best striker, best midfielder, and only bringing in, let's face it, Trusty as a centre-back. I don't know too much about Benny Traore. I've heard the name. I think they're going to struggle, aren't they? Tottenham, of course, making the Kulusevski deal permanent. They've released a lot of relatively decent players, one of them being Lucas Moura. Vicario, the goalkeeper, wasn't too impressed with him. James Maddison is one of the signings of the summer, for sure. Harry Winks has gone to Leicester. And they brought in Solomon as a free agent. And, of course, Mickey van der Ven is now a brand new centre-back for them as well. I'd say it's a good window, but they obviously will need more, especially if Harry Kane leaves. It's looking unlikely at the moment, though, isn't it? They keep rejecting Bayern. And Bayern famously don't like to go above and beyond money-wise, do they? West Ham, I'm worried about them because, of course, they've lost their best prospect, the best youth academy player ever in Declan Rice. They've lost their captain. And everyone knows they've got money, so it's really tough. Masuaku's gone to Besiktas. Lanzini's been released. I didn't even know that. That's crazy. Skamaka has gone to Atalanta, and I really think Skamaka had a lot of potential, but it just hasn't worked out. This is worrying. I think West Ham, because they've got so much money, they know they don't want to have the mick taken out of them. Any club will go, oh, it's West Ham that want this player. Okay, add on 10 million, 20 million, because they can easily afford it. But the players they're linked with, including Alvarez, Edson Alvarez, really good replacement for Declan Rice. I'd say actually Alvarez has some qualities that Declan Rice doesn't, but he's not. It's not the best replacement they could have. They could have a better player than Declan Rice if they really wanted to, but I don't think it's going to be possible for them. I'd say he's almost irreplaceable. He is that good, but best of luck, West Ham. Good luck trying to spend fair amounts of money when they know you've got money. And then last but not least, we have Wolves, and this is... I think they're in trouble. I really do. Diego Costa didn't work out for them. He's gone. Jean Moutinho's gone. Connor Cody's gone. He went to Leicester. Theo, Big Theo, I had him in my MGH United career mode. He's been loaned out. Nathan Collins has gone. Chiquinho's gone out on loan. Jimenez has gone. Oh my God. Do you know what? It's a frightening amount of players that have left, isn't it? It really is. And we're not even talking about the biggest one. Where is he? Why can't I see him? What? He went to the Saudi League and they haven't listed it. Unless there's click for more. Where is Ruben Neves? They've lost literally their best player and it's not listed. Okay, well, Ruben Neves has left and that's not good. Not good at all. I'd actually say that Wolves have probably had the worst window. They've lost so many key players. West Ham will struggle. Tottenham have had a good window. Who's had the best window? Honestly, I'm tempted to say Chelsea. Not only have they been able to bring in some good talent that's going to help them, and obviously Pochettino, huge signing, but they've been able to make so much money back that they can actually clear up some of the FFP issues. And it's players that weren't really working for them. Mason Mount, I'm sure they'll miss him a little bit. Havertz was rubbish for them last season and hasn't been prolific at all. So I want to say that Chelsea have possibly had the best window, but I wouldn't say it's the healthiest for their club in the long run. They're going to have troubles for sure. And I'm not a fan of how they've gone about getting all of this money from Saudi clubs when they have ties in Saudi. It's a little bit... Burnley are right up there as well. And honestly, I know I'm a bit biased, but I'd say Arsenal have definitely had a very strong window as well. And obviously my focus has been on that, and there's plenty more potential players that could be coming in. So if I was to say a top three, I'd probably say Chelsea. Newcastle have done very well to get the players in that they have. I think Arsenal are up there, but maybe not top three. I think Burnley might be up there. But in terms of the worst, I think Wolves are going to go down. I really do. They need to bring in someone big. And I'm hearing reports that Lopetegui could be walking. They could be terminating his deal. So they could be without a manager as well. And the season starts in a few days. So thank you for watching my video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, something different. And I will see you in the next one.